StockManager.com here in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your Stockmanager Brian Johnson. And the markets are trying and trying and trying and cannot seem to break this last little bit of overhead resistance. So we had another attempted push to the upside today, thwarted yet again by the Bears. The Bears are trying their best to hold on here. I'm not sure they're going to have much luck, but as of right now, we've had, last week, 5 days here of trading or so that have not been able to quite get above this 12,400-ish area as we stay in a holding pattern on the markets themselves. So, moves to the upside really giving you no opportunity to get in and hold on any kind of a trade. So we got 38 points or so above that 12.4 mark and then right back to break even by the time the day was over. Just can't seem to find the power. If we go back to a 60-minute, you can see that we've had these moves up, but it's starting to kind of flatten out in here. We're starting to get kind of this little sideways action now as the market consolidates and kind of rests for the time being. As long as it stays high, it is definitely still bullish, but I'll tell you what, the bulls are going to have to find some kind of power in the next day or so. Otherwise, I think the bears are going to get an opportunity to maybe put this thing into a pullback. I'm not convinced yet that it's going to be any kind of a major straight down drop or we're going to break these lows down here. Nothing of the sort. But a pullback into these moving averages, I think, would be very, very logical into the next, few days, maybe even into next week or all of next week's type trading. I just think it looks like the markets are starting to get a little tired here from the bull side. They're going to have to make that move soon. Nasdaq 60-minute, the NDX here, you can see it wandering sideways, finishing way back down here now from a daily standpoint. Rest of the markets are way up here. NDX is now kind of fallen backwards, however, giving us a lot of this same type of pullback look as we come back into support at the moving average. Nothing to be too concerned about yet, but breaks below that moving average, then maybe we do see that deeper bear pullback that we've been looking at. So there have been some other stocks as well that I see are getting a little bit extended in the NASDAQ itself, which can also lead to this bearishness over the next few days if it decides to continue that way. From a weekly to we're halfway through the we're a couple days I should say into the week now, and we're just at or around kind of flat right here. So it's not up, it's not down, it's just kind of straight across for the week so far. Anyway, if it does pull back and the bears do come in the next couple days, I'd be watching this lower level down here around the 2280-ish mark in the NDX. SPX doing the same thing as the Dow, kind of getting that little, just having a real tough time in here. But we've seen these moves before. They don't always lead to a rollover drop in the markets. Sometimes we do see them up and then move sideways, consolidate for a while, then pop upwards. Your marks to be watching are still the same as we have. 1325, 1320 to the downside, and still that 1340-ish, 1345-ish area to the upside. Nothing's changed even after today. Move about 8 points up. High to low, not much to trade if you're an indice player. There are some individual stocks that are moving very nicely right now, but as for the indices, we're back into the same type of holding pattern. So, breaks below here, okay, these are opportunities to maybe look for some shorts right in through here. Keep that in mind coming in the next few days. But if we can't seem to break or can't seem to break and hold these positions, the bulls are still still looking to drag this thing higher. Maybe just consolidate it for a while, and then the push-up comes. From a daily perspective, too, look at these multiple attempts to get through this area. Just can't seem to break it. Very, very close, coming right back to this 1332, 1330-ish area by the end of the day, but not able to break up and above. This is once again a great indicator of where the fight is happening. We're right in a very, very tight range here with the bears and the bulls, each trying to jockey for position. As long as it stays up here towards the high side, the bulls have control. They have the best opportunity of taking this thing higher. It's just these lower levels that may start bringing the sellers in, and that would be maybe the bulls taking some profits. It's not out of the realm for people to really understand how extended we are at this point. So any kind of a drop in the market could scare some of the bulls into thinking, okay, good time to take profits. Once they start selling, that would accelerate things to the downside, but there's no panic yet at all within the markets themselves from a bear or a bull side in either camp. But the bulls have control currently. And the VIX was down again today, back into this 16, 17-ish range. You see it bouncing kind of back and forth. As it hits this lower 16 to 1650-ish level, you can see the VIX start to bounce. Starts to get a little bit more of an accumulation down here. But right now, overall, bigger picture, as I've been talking about, there's nothing to be concerned about if you are bullish quite yet. Pushes back into this area on the VIX, and drops in the market would then start to confirm maybe a little bit more nervousness is coming back into the markets. But right now, no reason to think that that's going to happen. This thing can stay sideways for quite a while. Apple also still in this free fall, down another $2.30 today. Just cannot find its footing. Gap to start the day and hit as low as 336 on the button before we saw that bounce to the upside. But it didn't actually gain any real momentum, no real strength here. Apple could certainly have a little bit more of this bearish action to see, and that would be back below 335 or so, could take us all the way back to 330, 331 before the next heavier support line hits. From a daily, you see the attempted push to the upside was not able to hold as it drug itself right back down. You can just see that that while the bulls are trying to help, they're trying to take over here on Apple, the selling pressure is still obviously existent within the stock itself as it wanders its way downwards. Very stair-steppish, but still down. So the bears are still working and still in control here for the time being. Going to take a pretty major move back up above these levels to really shake this bearishness off of the Apple chart. So it's a ways to go. You've got a good 10, 12 bucks to go before we start to get a little bit more bullish on Apple. From a weekly too, sitting right on the 20 week, and this is right now about the only thing holding Apple up. So continued breaks to the downside. This is the area to be watching. Something back below, like I said, 335 is probably the more conservative entry to the short side, but you can see what's trying to support Apple right in through here. This 20 week is trying to do its best, but it isn't doing so well the last couple days. So just like the markets, Apple needs some help here. We need a good, strong push by the bulls to get everybody back on board here, and it just hasn't come in the last couple weeks. FAS, same type of thing, moving sideways, lots of choppy action, really stuck in a range here, as we've seen a million times before, resting up here, doing exactly what the markets are doing. The markets are doing this exact same thing, and FAS and FAZ are following right in line with what the rest of the markets are doing. We are still above this support area, still below the resistance area. It's no change from yesterday, still below, $30 or $30.50 and above $31.50. I'll give you a nice dollar range to work with for your longs and shorts, and just wait for the breaks. FAZ 60 minutes, same type of concept, still stuck in this downtrend here as we saw this thing wander its way sideways with only a 10-cent change by the end of the day. Here is that move here in the last 3 days, showing consolidation and still in and below this bigger blue line here. Had a great shot to get bullish on this stock back up in this area, and just no follow through whatsoever. Just nothing here for FAZ to really get their foothold in the door to head this thing upwards. So still above 42, 43, still below 38, 50, $38 or so for your longs and shorts, and that'll do it for today's market video. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in. Be back with you probably again tomorrow. Got some things I got to do. I got to go meet with the tax man tomorrow, so I don't know how long that's going to take. So may or may not have a video for you guys in tomorrow's trading. I will try to at least post something, maybe some charts or something that we can look at. But otherwise, from a video standpoint, it'll either be tomorrow or then again on Thursday. Thanks again for tuning in. See you guys soon. Bye.